Have you ever asked AI for business advice and the responses sound generic, safe, politically correct, and most important of all, you feel like you already knew all of them? What if I told you there's a method that can transform those bland responses into advice so good you'd easily pay $500 for it? If you're new here, hi, I'm Elle. I am a learning scientist. I have a PhD in cognitive science from Columbia, and I've served as a judge for multi-million-dollar tech proposals for the last 5 years. Today, I am sharing a 3-step method that helps you get expert-level business advice for free. But first, let me explain why most people get terrible AI advice. There are 3 common mistakes. Number 1, a lot of the AI gurus online will ask you to say something like, ask AI to be Bill Gates. It sounds so right. But in reality, if you could talk to Bill Gates in real life, he probably wouldn't be able to give you specific advice. Bill Gates never bootstrapped a SaaS company. You might as well just get a selfie with them, and that may be more helpful. And mistake number 2, we often ask very generic questions, such as, how do I grow my business? How to get healthy? And they're sure to get very generic answers. Mistake number 3, we often treat AI as a tool, such as a Google search. We ask them a question and we evaluate their immediate response, and then we walk away. In reality, we should treat them as a partner, and then we should give them feedback and we iterate. Instead of a one-shot approach, we implement an iterative approach so that we give more feedback and they get better answer. If there's one thing you learn from this video, is this one. We have to create very specific expert profiles that match with our specific needs. Otherwise, the AI, be it ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they'll give you very AI-sounding generic, safe answers. The question is, how do we come up with specific profiles? In the ideal world, it will be great if we already know someone who is in our close circles, who are our mentor. The realistic scenario is we don't know that person, or we don't have easy access to that person, or maybe they'll charge us $2,000 per hour. And we then delegate the task to AI. And I'll share my exact approach on how to use AI to generate realistic profile descriptions. Let's dive in. The specific method I'm sharing today is called contrasting profiles. And we're going to ask AI to help us draft specific profiles. I'm now actually using ChatGPT. I have tested ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. And ChatGPT turned out to be the best AI platform for generating profiles. Now, in this specific case, I'm consulting with executive coaches because I wanted to solve a business challenge. So this is exactly what I would use. Please write 2 successful executive coach profile description. Be very specific. Make these 2 people as different as possible, but equally highly successful. They could differ vastly on age, gender, approach, etc. All right, now we have 2 very different profiles. Number 1, Judith Keller, age 67, based in Boston, Fortune 130 years of experience, inside the corporate machine, 15 more coaching, direct but empathetic style. All right, let's see the second one. Malik, 35, based in LA, former YC-backed founder turned VC talent partner. Malik is the go-to coach for hyper-growth startup leaders who are 10x product minds, talent partner at a top-tier West Coast VC firm. Now, as you can see, these are 2 very different executive coach backgrounds. One based in Boston, older, went through the more traditional corporate ladder kind of pathway, versus Malik, younger, West Coast based, YC founder. Perfect. Remember to save these 2 profiles. For the second step, we're going to use Google AI Studio, use Gemini 2.5 Pro. And I find this to be the most capable model for these type of analysis after trying it at least hundreds of times. And if you have never used Google AI Studio, you are welcome to check out this video here. Now, in order to talk to 2 executive coaches simultaneously, we use the compare mode here. So when you open Google AI Studio, right here, click on compare mode, and you can name the session to be executive coach session, whatever you want. And then click on system instructions here. This is really important, where we're gonna tell the model who you are here, as well as any other information about yourself or your company. And really importantly, we have to uncheck sync, because we're gonna use two different sets of system prompts here. And it's really easy. You just say you are and copy over the profile description. Remember, number one is Judith Keller. Okay, in the system prompt, we're just gonna tell the model who you are, all right? Exactly. And similarly, we're gonna paste in the second profile description here. Importantly, you also need to tell the model who you are. So for today's demo, I made a fake company profile, TechFlow Solutions, a mid-market B2B software company. Okay, and another important thing is I always turn on URL context right here. You have to do it twice here as well, all right? And this is really handy because in a real scenario, you probably wanted to share your company website or personal website or a document on Google Talk, anything like that. You can directly just share the URL, and Gemini 2.5 Pro is able to read the website. So we've just set up the system instructions for the two executive coaches we're going to have a conversation with. And at the bottom, we can now start a conversation. And here, I am using this one. This has come up a lot from my real clients. I know AI agents will transform our workflow, but my team keeps asking, what about job security? How do I communicate the vision of human AI collaboration rather than replacement? Now, before I click on the wrong button, I wanted to show you, what if I don't do this profiling setup and just directly ask this answer to Gemini 2.5? What's going to happen here? Okay, you can see it immediately generated answers. I mean, it sounded exactly like AI, shifting the narrative from replacement to reinforcement, focus on augmentation, not automation. These are definitely the safe and right words to say, but nothing came out as a wow factor or something I did not know before. I think by now we're convinced that the response here are pretty generic and AI sounding. All right, now let's go back to our experiment today using the contrasting profiling method. Now, we're no longer talking to a generic AI who seems to know a lot, but to specific person. Okay, let's get it rolling. Let me hit run. And in my company profile, I actually tell them the person who is having a session with them is Sarah. So immediately you can see that it's a person-to-person conversation. Let's see what the Boston coach has to say. Sarah, aware what you're facing isn't a technology problem, it's a leadership crucible. The anxiety you feel from your team is the natural byproduct of ambiguity. Okay, interesting. First one, reframe the narrative from replacement to promotion. Stop talking about AI as a tool to handle routine tickets and data entry. Translates to the work you do now is low value and will be automated. Okay, I like it is providing specific solutions right away. We're introducing AI collaborators to absorb the repetitive, draining tasks. It's about promoting the entire department to a high-value function. Okay, cool. We're promoting the whole department. We're not replacing anybody. Okay, that narrative is actually refreshing. AI will handle the predictable. Your team will handle the profitable, the nuance, the relationship, the complex sale. Wow, that's a very diplomatic way to handle this type of communication. Okay. Number two, confront the fear directly and transparently. Start a meeting by saying, I know there's a lot of anxiety about the push for AI and what it means for our jobs. Let's talk about it directly. Okay, these are very specific suggestions that business leader can consider following. Okay, now let's move on to our LA-based coach. What Malik has to say. Sarah, this is a classic leadership challenge. You're not just implementing a new tech stack, you're navigating a cultural shift. The fear your team is feeling is real, and the worst thing you can do is dismiss it. Your employee-focused reputation is an asset here, but you need to pair it with a blunt, technical approach. Okay, at least for now, I know these two are not giving me similar answers. So he's offering a 3-part framework: knowledge, frame, and equip. Nice. It's giving you a framework, acknowledging the fear. Remember in the Boston coach suggestions, we're trying to frame that it's a promotion for the whole department. So we're not separating AI and human. We're together. And here he's emphasizing on show, don't just tell, to demonstrate how much time using AI can, is a routine task that takes up 5 hours of your week. Here's how an AI agent can do the prep work in 15 minutes. Okay, so you get the idea. We're getting very different perspectives here from the two distinct executive coaches. Now, one of the major benefits of doing this exercise is it helps us avoid our blind spots. And number two, we're more likely to have a iterative conversation when the AI sounds like a real human being. And number three, we can easily test what type of coaches or experts we benefit more from. Because as you have more conversations with these coaches at the same time, you're going to develop some preference here. And eventually, if you really liked the suggestions one of the coaches offered, you may want to single that one out and have in-depth communication with that coach. And following the same method, I then asked ChatGPT to create 2 successful content creation coach profiles. Again, these have to be wildly different but equally successful. And I got Marcus Dean, the technical growth architect, and Luna Ray, the creative soul igniter. Then, second step, I went to Google AI Studio and used the compare mode, updated the system prompts with the profiles, and this time with my real content creation background. And to be honest, I got so obsessed and I was blown away by their answers. And I ended up spending 2 hours. Yes, you heard that right. 2 hours talking with these 2 consultants. I think within 5 minutes of conversations, I truly felt like I was in a room with 2 real people with a lot of expertise. And I actually was able to redefine my content strategy based on the suggestions I had learned from these intensive coaching sessions. And I was able to combine the best of both parties. And so far, this has been my single most valuable time invested in having conversations with AI. So I sincerely hope you get to try this contrasting profiles method yourself and share in the comment section below what types of experts you consulted. It could be executive coaches, content creation consultants, or business strategists, marketing experts, right? And just remember using contrasting profiles so that we have a better chance avoid our blind spots. Now, I have created a PDF guide with 10 different types of experts, each with 2 contrasting profiles written already. And if you're interested in testing all of them, please click on the link in the description section below and you can download it for free. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. See you next time.